Back for the first time in 5 years.
Now, before we chat to two of its stars, Joanna Page and Larry Lamb, here's what we can expect from the final ever episode.
Later on today, I will be driving our family across the border to a foreign land.
What are you doing?
I'm testing the flow.
Stace, pass me them nunchucks.
30 years ago, you two went on a fishing trip that almost tore this family apart. Just say it, you despicable little rat.
You want music?
Yeah, why not?
This is getting out of hand now.
So funny. Please welcome Mick and Stacey, otherwise known as Larry Lamb and Joanna Page. Oh my goodness, I just loved you both watching that, and you were just like looking at it and going, oh, it's so funny, it's so great. It's like, I don't know where to start. No. I saw it this afternoon.
I know.
I was in all sorts of a mess coming out of there. It's everything everybody wanted and more, right? But we can't say anything else.
And the pair of us have been the same since we came out there, sitting round, poleaxed. You just feel
that's the word, Larry, poleaxed.
Great used to have poleaxed.
The absolute ultimate emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
You know, you're up, you're down, you're on, you're standing. It's quite extraordinary. The most amazing piece of writing. Amazing.
Yeah.
They're so clever.
And speaking of the clever writing, Joanna, I've got to ask you, when that script first landed at your lap, where were you? How long did it take you to read it? How did it make you feel after that first read?
I was so excited because I was coming off the back of another job and I was in a service station waiting for a burger.
Glamour.
And I'd been waiting for the script, and suddenly I looked at my phone and it said Gavin and Stacey read through script, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've got it on my phone. This thing that, you know, I looked around and I thought, so many people here would just love to see what's in this. Yeah. So I got my burger, got in the car, started eating the burger, and then just read it there and then on my phone, voice noting Ruth all the way through it, just going, oh, can't believe this, oh my gosh, just read this. And then I had to drive to the next service station so I didn't get a ticket, and then read the rest of it in the next service station. And then I laughed, I cried, I just sent loads of messages to Ruth and James and drove home and was like, wow, I've just read it.
Yeah.
Oh, people are in for such a treat. We have, wow.
That's the thing.
Larry, you know, it started as a show on BBC3 and then grew into this global phenomenon, so popular. But you had a little niggle, didn't you? You knew when you started that there was something really special going on.
I mean, the thing is, it's like when you put the thing on the table, everybody sits around, the actors all sit around and read it until that moment it's you and the script. But then when everybody else reads it and you just feel the thing coming alive, and, you know, the problem with me is I'm the eternal optimist. So everything I'm in, I think is going to be a huge success, right? But this one certainly was something that was coming off that. And when people started to read it and were getting laughs from each other, that's right from the beginning. Special.
Well, it's so lovely to watch you two watching yourselves, because you really are a fan of the writing as well as being in it yourselves. Joanna, I've got to ask you, what was it about Stacey that made you fall in love with her like 17 years ago?
I just opened this script and I thought, I know this person. You know, to actually have something where I could be Welsh, I could use my own voice, you just feel closer to the character. And I thought, I know these people. This is my family. I know where they come from. I've had these experiences. My Uncle Anthony is like Uncle Bryn. When is my mother? She makes a perfect omelette. I know these people, and I thought, I have got to get the part of Stacey.
I mean, my next question to you was going to be, you know, where is the line between Joanna and Stacey? Is there one?
Well, I think Stacey is the closest character I've ever played to myself. And people ever say to me, are you going to miss her? And I think, no, I'm not going to miss playing Stacey, because she's here, she's in me, she'll always be there. The thing I'll miss the most is working with the whole of our family. I mean, has been the best bit, isn't it? Just all of us being together. And also the hardest bit, because we've sort of like just grieved every day, saying goodbye to all different bits. But yeah, no, Stacey will always be here. She is very, very close to me.
Do you know, I don't even know how you managed to film those last scenes and sort of say goodbye to your characters and each other. We've talked about this, Larry, on a radio show we did about it. What was, you know, looking back, because you've done a lot of reflecting, I guess, since you finished filming, What is one of your favourite Mick moments from the series, any of the series?
I forget so much of it, you know, that's the problem. I've been watching some of the reruns and I think to myself, I'm standing there in that scene, I have no recollection of this at all. But I think the one that particularly at the time just registered was when him and Matt and Pam have had a bit of a bicker, and so he puts those big ears on and climbs over and just says, "Oh, Camilla, darling." So he becomes as he was Prince Charles then. And I think, and I know Ali always thinks of that one. So it's probably it amongst the ones I can remember.
So many though, isn't there? So many.
A great one to remember. Now, Larry, you're going to treat us even more because there's a special documentary, Gavin and Stacey, A Fond Farewell, New Year's Day, 7 p.m, BBC1. And it's basically a whole behind-the-scenes, thing, isn't it? How was it having those cameras follow you around, I guess, as yourself and watching you as Mick?
It's a little bit funny when that happens, but I never, ever have felt as at ease when it went on with this.
Yeah.
Because Suter, the guy that was running it all, he was really good. He knew how to do it. And so they lived with us. They were there.
Oh my gosh, they were there all the time.
All the time.
You go into makeup, and normally it's just sort of, it's your little haven in makeup, but they'd be there, and you kind of got used to them after a while, didn't you?
They were not intrusive at all.
We won't be saying that when we see this on New Year's Day, and goodness knows what they've got from us. Can you imagine?
You never know. I mean, I'm sure it'll be all right.
It'll be lovely.
It'll be fascinating to watch that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those little recollections.
And it's lovely that there's
stuff.
another something, so it doesn't completely end on Christmas Day.
There you go.
But then there will be more of you as Joanna.
Oh my gosh, yes.
In January, because you're doing this lovely programme all about little furry friends.
All about the wildlife.
We've got a super lovely bit of footage here.
Oh my goodness, look! I'm feeding a baby badger. Oh, it was honestly I just had such an incredible experience. I mean, I'm feeding a baby badger.
So that is Joanna Page's Wildlife.
Yes.
6th of Jan.
Yes, 6th of Jan. It was just incredible. I was X-raying bats, badgers, baby foxes. I was feeding baby seagulls, looking after hedgehogs. It was just incredible. I completely immersed myself in it. It was wonderful, wonderful.
And then went home and looked after the kids.
Yeah, then went home and looked after my own wildlife then. My own
there you are.
Yeah, which I think were far more difficult.
Do you know what? Thank you so much, both of you. You can watch the final episode of Gavin and Stacey on Christmas Day, 9 o'clock on BBC1 and iPlayer.
But before that, Joanna, we're going to get to see you and Gavin on Morning Live this Friday. So it's Gavin and Stacey.
Gavin and Stacey.
You love to
You're in good hands.
In very, very good hands.
Better look after me.
He will. He'll be
will.
brilliant. He'll look after you.
The consummate gentleman and professional. We love you, Gavin. Right, still to come tonight, new detective Don Gillet tells us what it's like to solve crimes in paradise.
But first, what's your go-to Christmas movie? Is it, Joanna?